Hey, I just wanted to talk about something that nobody seems to want to talk about. And I know that I said I was going to bring a new video with a different subject, but I wanted to talk about this instead. And that is, are we dead? Isn't it weird how everything seems to be extremely inverted? Isn't it feel completely different when you think about before 2012, how life was, how you were, and how it is now is so integrally different that it feels unreal. Now, I've talked to people in real life, and I've heard many people on the internet. Around 2015, people on the internet started saying this, and I felt it in my heart. I even had mystic visions where I saw us basically in a big box, like those big D-Wave computers. And if you don't know what that is, I encourage you to look those up. They're very interesting, to say the least. No matter how you dice it, we are in an afterlife. Scientists will gleefully tell you that we are we are stardust. We are the after effects of stars. So therefore, we had a lifetime as a star, and now we have a lifetime as a human. So in that way, we are in the afterlife, but I do believe this is our second life. A lot of people know this in the esoteric community. In the arcane knowledge, they know that there are two lives. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, it is inferred, and in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, it is also inferred that you bring your body with you. The Bible also talks about a second death over and over in Revelations. It also refers to the dead resurrecting, that the dead shall rise again. I don't think it means as ghouls and ghosts and goblins. I think it literally means us. I think our kinetic energy of what we believe we were got transferred into this other dimension, which you could say maybe CERN destroyed our old dimension, and that's all connected with the whole Mandela effect and everything. And that's very possible that timelines are being destroyed. And it's coming down to one timeline where only goodness wins. Unless you want to follow darkness. You can go to that timeline. But for me, and for the people that are listening to this, I am sure that you are on the right timeline. So we also have... we bring our bodies with us, and we work out our kinks that we developed in our first life. And many of us built up, prejudices or hatred, harbor hatred about people or things. And we have to overcome all that. And the only way we can do that is through healing ourselves of all those things. Sometimes you could use EFT, which is tapping. Sometimes it's just reliving the situation that was traumatic and crying it out. And it's not fun, and it takes years, and it's okay, because at the end of it, I'm here to tell you, the gospel, it really does help. And you really do lift up your spirits. I also encourage everybody who's listening to this to really start employing the methods of subconscious manipulation that's talked about through... you can look up Dr. Joseph Murphy. He's great. He'll tell you exactly where you need to go. Other people talk about Joe Dispenza and, of course, Bruce Lipton. So there are methods to get yourself up to a high vibration and to get yourself to the right timeline. But currently we are, I believe, in the afterlife. And that's why you're hearing about all these crazy things like, oh, there's lizard people, all these, whatever. It's like super scary. Everything is super scary. Everything you see on the TV is super trying to scare you so much. Don't fall for it. I'm not saying there wasn't lizard people. They might have been. I'm not saying that. The Anunnaki have been well understood by secret societies for a long time. They probably really exist, and they have been manipulating mankind, and some of them are good. But that's a different subject for a different video. Now, another thing to keep in mind about this whole are we dead or not is there's this weird piece of information that I got when you look up, get on your phone or on your computer and go to YouTube and look up the keywords Neil deGrasse Tyson, James Gates, and computer simulation or simulation theory. And you will see a 5-minute video. There might be 2 videos. Watch them both. Watch all the videos you can on this. And in that video, this astrophysicist, James Gates, who specializes in supersymmetry, had found that in his measurements, he had found that there is computer code written throughout the cosmos. And that is interesting. And maybe we were always in a computer. Maybe we got sucked into a computer to avoid a calamity of 2012. Maybe it was for also, who knows what the reason is. But we could have been in a computer, but right now we definitely, according to this gentleman, are in a computer right now. That doesn't mean there isn't a God. There absolutely is a God. That's one of the biggest secrets that have been kept from everybody. That's just my knowing, and I can tell you from my own mystical experiences, there absolutely is a God, and it loves you. Side note, I just had to throw that out there. And you are definitely loved, and you are all awesome. Every single one of you are loved equally. Side note. Let's go. I digress. So this guy also mentions, James Gates also mentions that the code was invented by a guy named Claude Shannon. Claude Shannon invented the code in, get this, 1952. So we had to have been, if you extrapolate that information, unless we have time travel ability, it had to have happened where we got sucked into a computer or simulation after 1952. That's all we can figure out from that information, unless there's time travel capabilities. Stephen Hawking alluded that maybe there might be a possibility. I don't think they have that capability at this point. We are still flowing in the river of time in a forward direction. So there are many people who will say this is insane. Do not talk to them. If you feel this way, you don't have to convince them. But if this video is meant for you to understand that you are not crazy at all. In fact, you are one of the sane ones, and everybody else is still asleep. And we pray for them that they wake up as soon as possible, because as you can see, things will get continuously worse until the 100th monkey effect takes place, and we have a major great awakening, which is right on the precipice, because as you could see, the so-called controllers, the so-called elite, which are just our lost brothers and sisters, have really mucked up a lot of things. But that's a different story for another time. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there and let people know about what's going on. This is specifically for you, Kimberly. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and God bless.